So this has been a year of a lot of great movies, but there's always disappointments and negatives along the way. And for a lot of people, that's the more fun ones to talk about anyway. So we're going to list off a few of the movies that we thought were the worst or maybe the most disappointing of the year. And we will see you very soon.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Odd Popcorn for that video. I'm Chris.
I'm Nick.
And we are talking about the worst movies of the year. So this is just our opinion. Not all these are necessarily bad movies, but maybe we had high hopes for them and they'd let us down. Maybe they didn't live up to the general audience's expectation of them. Or some of these I really do. Very few do I like actually hate, but there's at least like one or two that I pretty much hate. So, so we'll get into it. We haven't talked about a whole lot about what our lists are going to be, but and I don't think this is really ranked per se. But what are some that come to mind for you?
Yeah, I think most of mine are ones that I had like pretty high hopes for and was stoked on seeing, just assuming they were going to be good movies from what I had seen from previews. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one that I was really excited for from the trailers was El Conde.
Mm-hmm.
About was it Argentina? Argentina, I mean.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
didn't do it for me. I think
it,
we'd seen too much like bleak black and white, slow burn stuff recently, and it just wasn't working for me.
Margaret Thatcher. What the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Why just maybe there's I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that's like lost to us because we didn't grow up with the particular political climate that this director did or whatever. But yeah, just not didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Another one, that had a lot of anticipation built up from everybody, but maybe for positive or negative. I mean, I don't know if anybody's all that shocked that it didn't turn out perfectly, but Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I just thought that sucked.
Yeah.
Just, it was a slog to get through to me, and it just felt so manufactured and so like workshopped and just no soul to it. It just was like roll the old man out again and let's just do it again and we can make some money. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't think
Almost my worst movie. Almost my worst movie of the
shit.
year, honestly.
I don't think I hated it as much as you did, but like if I rewatched it, I'm sure it doesn't hold up near as much as now that I'm thinking about it right now, wheels are turning. I'm remembering scenes. I'm kind of like, it's a little bit too much.
Yeah. What else? What else do you got? What else
So
comes to mind for
another
you?
one that I have is the Boogeyman, which the trailers made seem like it was going to be a pretty good horror movie. I think even Stephen King said it was a good movie, but it's based off of one of his books. So what else is he gonna say? And it's one of the worst horror movies I've seen in my life.
I didn't feel quite as strongly about it as you. There's actually one that I felt worse about. Well, there's a couple that I felt worse about this year than this, but yeah, the book to me it was just its biggest crime was being not very interesting, full of
Yeah,
plot holes, and just kind of boring, and just not. It didn't bring anything really unique to the table, and the trailers made you think that was what was happening here. You're getting something a little different, and it was not.
yeah.
And there were so many opportunities for people to get out of it,
I mean, the best thing
which I
about
know
the
you can say
movie
that about a
was
lot of movies, but
the best thing about the movie was David Dastmalchian, but other than
he
that,
didn't save it. Yeah,
yeah, no, it's hard to.
yeah. And while we're talking about David Desmalchin, man, I don't dislike this as bad as the Boogeyman, but for me, the last Voyage of the Demeter did not work at all, and actually it
Right.
aged poorly in my mind. As the longer I sat with it, the more I was like, that really doesn't work. I really don't recommend that to many people. I know people worked hard on it and everything. You can tell people cared. It's not like that, but it just doesn't land at all. It's not a Dracula story to me at all.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know if that was
I
as
think
low for you as it was for me, but I got.
it's kind of forgettable. I know it was basically like the Alien, but with a Dracula monster on a ship. I think the Dracula show on Netflix that came out this year, which I believe came out in like 2020 or 2021 on the BBC, was 1,000 times better than this fucking movie. But yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
I got a few more. Uh,
Okay.
this is in no particular order, so I'm gonna go with Divinity. This movie, man, I regret even going to
So
see
much
it.
potential.
Yeah, so much potential, but it was a waste of an hour and a half or whatever the movie was. I regretted going and even watching it because I was another one of the movies I was excited to see and just let me down immensely.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Yeah, there's cool things about it. I can see people being snared into watching it by like some cool clip on TikTok or something and thinking like, "No, that seems like it's up my alley," but it's probably not. It's pretty hard movie to recommend. Another one for me, and this is maybe a little controversial, but I know a lot of people like this a lot actually, but I hate Cocaine Bear.
Oh yeah, I never watched it. After
I hated
you
it.
told me it was terrible, and I was like, yeah, I don't need to watch it.
It's just, I don't want to yuck your yum. If that's fun for you, it is a goofball, trying to be a fun time, but just not enough bear. The gore was at best all right, but all the people characters were just insufferably terrible, and it wasn't funny to me. It was just really painful and dumb. So there you go. Not for me.
So this one was actually on your honorable mentions.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Nimona.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like this movie.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I was very bored throughout the entire thing. The story, I get it. It's okay. Everybody needs to be included. I get it. I understand. But they didn't do it in a good way for me, and I don't know.
That was probably the movie we disagreed on the most out of this year. Movies that came out this year, I think we disagreed the most there.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with the message of the movie, but it was pretty overt that they added it in there, and then I feel like they didn't accomplish what they were trying to get through with it, maybe. And the animation, no, it's on my bottom.
Hey, have fun on your island over there.
Yeah.
I
got another one that people are gonna hate me for. So.
What's your? You know what? We don't have to go back and forth. I'm curious.
I'm saving it for the last.
Okay.
So I got two.
Well,
more.
I guess I'll stick with the slightly controversial thing because I'm sure other people enjoyed this a lot more than me. It's not that terrible, but I gotta say, just for me, A Haunting in Venice was the final nail in the coffin of me. Just saying, I'm not really a big fan of that triptych of movies.
You hate those movies.
I don't hate them. Rewatching the first one, I like it better than this is. I like this one less than the first one, and the first one's not my favorite either. So they're just not for me. But this one, it could have been a lot worse. I just felt like leaving the theater. What am I even going to remember about it? It didn't land for me. There was a lot of good actors and stuff, but I just didn't think that anybody really gave me anything memorable, even the best actors in it. So, whoops.
All right, so I only have two left. I'm gonna save one of them for last.
Okay.
So the next one I thought was the worst of the year was Landscape with the Invisible Hand, and that's another movie that let me down incredibly because when I saw the preview or trailer for this movie, I was like, this looks awesome. And then you watch the movie, and it's nothing like the trailer at all. There's aliens. Their design was terrible, which I know it was from a book, but
yeah.
The story was boring and not what the trailers made it out to be. And yeah, I hated this movie.
Funny, because this one did kind of work for me, but not enough to go on my honorable mentions even, but like it did work for me. I just think, thinking about it afterwards, it's probably not as good as I had it in my head, but yeah, it wasn't like for you. You really didn't get anything out of that one at all.
Did not like it.
Another one for me was The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh, yeah,
and I don't even want to say much about it. There's just nothing to it. It's not really interesting enough to hate. It's just not very good, and I hate to see Russell Crowe in something that's so forgettable and formulaic and just derivative of every other exorcism movie ever. In a year where we got, I think, a really good demon possession movie in When Evil Lurks, and Talk to Me.
Yeah.
This just didn't come up to any of those standards at all. Do you want to say your last one?
I do, and I'm saving.
Or do you want to save it?
No, I'll say it. I was saving it for last.
Okay.
And it's
okay. What's your last one?
I'm sure it's very controversial because I feel like a lot of people probably like this movie, and I know someone very close to you loves this movie, and it might be one of their favorite movies ever. But The Creator. This movie, if you've seen Star Wars Rogue One, you've seen The Creator pretty much. You don't need to go see it. There were certain things about the movie that were okay, like the universe it was set in, but other than that, the story was very bland to me, And if you've seen it, Gareth Edwards, what's his name?
Edwards.
Gareth
Yeah,
Edwards.
Gareth Edwards.
If you've seen one or two of his movies, you know this one as well. So I don't know.
I liked it more than you. I'm holding off anything I say because I really want to give it a rewatch. So I've had not only my girlfriend, but two other people in my life now, in my real life, have watched this movie now and said like, you really need to give that movie another shot. So I'm gonna give it another shot. But I
mean,
agree, it didn't work for me. I just don't feel as strongly negatively as you, but
I guess
I know what you mean because our anticipation was so high for something that looks so fun in the trailers and everything.
yeah,
You know?
and I guess I should give it another shot, but like for me the ending fell super flat, and they really do a great job of making you hate the main character and have no redemption for him.
Well, they try to give him one.
Yeah,
It's,
and
it's a matter of whether it works or not.
terrible for me, you know.
Yeah. So I'll just rattle off some of my last ones, but I do want to spend a little extra couple seconds on one of them. But for the most part, these are just forgettable and whatever. You People, I barely remember anything about it except that I just couldn't stand the awkwardness of that. I didn't feel like anything gelled with that movie. And it's actors I like, you know. I like Jonah Hill, I like Eddie Murphy, but this was not good at all, and I've blocked it out. I don't even remember anything. Cobweb, I know some people had a lot of fun with this year. I just did not. I just thought it wasn't funny enough if it was trying to be, and it certainly wasn't scary enough if it was trying to be. It felt like it wanted to be barbarian and didn't land it. It felt like it was also trying to be, and I like some of these actors, but it was just things that were supposed to be scary came off laughable to me, and I just didn't. There was a lot of plot holes I didn't understand. Just no, not for me. So that's about it, except for one other movie that I feel the most strongly about because I just hate everything about this movie, and that is Exorcist Believer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just nothing redeeming about that movie at all. It's really not even exciting enough to be angry at, really. I hate how boring it is. I hate that they tried to ensnare you with all these things about bringing such and such back. It has nothing to do with honoring the original movie.
Even the original actress that played the mom didn't want to be in it, but she did it because they just offered her so much money.
Charity.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave her a charity of her choice a bunch of money, and then they were. I feel like it was almost disrespectful what they did to her character in the same way that I feel like the same director sort of handled Laurie Strode, but that's another story. But I just think take this guy's horror directing keys away from him. He's too drunk to drive. You know, like make more Pineapple Express or something like that. Do something else. But
did he make Pineapple Express?
Yeah, this is the same director that did like Pineapple Express and some other movies that also weren't good,
okay.
like Your Highness and stuff like
terrible.
that. But he's been a comedy director, and then he started doing the Halloween movies, David Gordon Green.
Okay.
But this is more egregious to me than the Halloween movies. There's just nothing to like about that thing. And that's the only movie this year. Maybe You People too, but for the most part, Exorcist Believer is the one I just don't see anybody having anything to say positive about. I don't know what you could get out of this one. So my least recommend movie that I've seen at all this year. So I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
We're excited about 2024. It's already basically here. We got Night Swim coming up relatively soon.
I'm sure we'll try to see some of the movies that came out towards the end of 2023 when we're able to. Like I definitely want to see The Iron Claw and
yeah, maybe we will, revisit some movies that did come out at the end of this year when we actually do get a chance to see them. We'll see what happens depending on what the interest is like and everything. But because there were a lot of movies in 2023 that were on my radar to see. So, and by the way, since we're on the worst of the year list, I will say that this channel is not really about like watching movies that we're gonna hate. So we don't really spend a lot of time watching movies that we anticipate like really disliking strongly.
Yeah.
So this list probably would have been populated with a whole different slew of movies if we just watched every single thing that came out. But there's so much that I've heard terrible things about that I have no idea. I can't give you my opinion about. Yeah, there was a lot that came out that we were just like we're trying to. There's so many good looking movies that come out in a year. You kind of got to pick your battles, and so that's why this is probably not the worst of the year list you'll ever see. It's kind of like gentle, don't check these out kind of things. But anyway, we appreciate you guys watching. It's our first year on YouTube. It's been fun watching this thing happen. We got a lot planned in 2024.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who has subscribed and like watched our videos. We appreciate it. We got 200 subscribers, which is more than I thought we would ever get, honestly. And we're up. Next goal is 500. And thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, and especially the Godzilla video. You guys really showed up for the Godzilla video, so that was really cool to watch. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Hit like below, share your worst of the year down below, or throw out a couple if you don't want to do a whole list.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the movies that we'll trash talk some movies in the comments below, and share this with somebody you think might get something out of it. Hit subscribe, like he said, and yeah, we'll see you in 2024, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you. Have a happy new year.
Thank you.